All righty. Yes, I am indeed on Good People. My apologies for being tardy to the party. I was waiting for my coffee machine to do its thing. One can't function without coffee. No. All right. Hey, everybody. So we've got David and Bassman. How you doing? Now, for those who have not encountered my good person before, I am Rob the Builder. Can we build it? Yes, we can. Now, there he is. Now, excuse me a moment. I've left that on the ground. Oh, toasty and warm again. It's absolutely shitful weather-wise here in Adelaide. But there you have it. Oh, maybe it would help if I put the bloody aircon on, you dingus. Brain of a fucking duck, you know. Now, this morning, what we're working on is a kit we haven't seen for a little while, being the AMG. Oh, mate, I'm sorry. Coffee is an issue if I don't have it. Yes, it is. Actually, all bullshit aside, I remember this is going back quite a few years, and I thought we had had enough coffee. I was sharing house with some dudes, and they'd come back and they'd cleaned us out, and the next morning I had to go to work without coffee. By morning tea, I was getting savage headaches. It was a no bullshit scenario. I can replace coffee with tea. That's a good option, since I like coffee. Anyway, now that I finished that bit of waffling and irrelevancy, so yeah, we're getting on to the AMG 109A. It is mostly masked up. All we've really got to do is check that out for that indeed being the case. In some instances, we need to maybe do some placing of certain items on plinths and the like, and then we just get down to the nitty-gritties. Yes, we do. All righty. Now, on that note, moving around for a moment for that brief bit of checking. Now, having held you up for about a couple of minutes for it, I should at least make the relevant effort. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah, that's kicking. That is the shit. Oh yeah, wakey. Now, where did I put them? Here it is. Now, the box of the for AMG. This is the one criticism I'd probably level at the kit is that you'll see the box that I've got it in is this. Now, as you can gather, this is not the box it came in. And more's the point. The reason it's in that box is because the actual box it came in, they'd sort of squished it all down for some reason. I don't know why they did that. They did. Or someone did. So the box was just like flat bits of cardboard. Which is less than ideal for carrying shit, I'm sure you'll agree. However, let's have a look. Boom. Yep. Needs to be mounted. Ooh, sounds a bit saucy. Now, this is not relevant to our current adventure on the painting. Yeah, we are largely good to go, guys. This is a bit good. So we can forego the frustrations of masking, which leaves us, oh, look at that, all ready to rock and or roll. Yeah, baby. That's a bit convenient. Now, what else? Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, and there's more. Obi Rob knows this to be true. Need the opposite one of those. Give me a moment. I seem to recall that still being on the sprue. Give me a moment. Looking. If it's not, it's a bit inconvenient, but well, there's a couple of places I can look and probably find quite quickly. But first, rubbing. Yes. Okay. Not seeing it. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. No, it's not. But, give me a moment. Okay, now I'm getting a bit stressy. Or am I? Give me a moment. Obviously, as you would expect, I would want to find that part. Now, I have an option, I think. And yeah, okay. This is looking a bit grimmer than I had anticipated, as I said. I had thought it was still on a big piece of sprue. And what I'm looking for, just for the record, is the corresponding one of those. Now, what I might be able to do, just one last scan through our stuff, is I have already started pirating and cannibalizing another kit, being a 109 kit. Why the hell wouldn't I do some more of the same? Like I said, I'm just going to have one last gander, just in case it's me being a blind bastard, which it may well be because, well, I am a blind bastard. Okay. Okay, it's not looking good on that front. That's okay. What we'll do, and I have conveniently on hand, need to find the rest of that. Now, give me a moment. Those are from a kit I haven't even started. I should put them so we're a bit more sensible. That's from a Focke-Wulf 1090 A8. Now, I reckon this is a problem now. Okay, give me a moment. So I reckon the part that I'm looking for, as far as from the spare kit that I was looking at then, is actually on a piece of sprue in a box in my shed currently. So what we're going to do is we're not going to get all excited about that one small part just yet. If necessary, and in fact it will be necessary, I'll just do that one by hand on the quiet. Now, in the meantime, why is there a bomb or a fuel tank in? What is this? Some kind of display? Blue box. We'll pop that in. Dear oh dear. Now, there's one thing I will check just very quickly here. Yeah. I didn't think it would be in there. It was just a thought. Bing. Now then. All right. Most of this, as I said, you just got to This we don't need to put on a plinth, nor that. These need to just be gotten out of the way. I can get this blankie off my legs now, as it's starting to get a wee bit toasty under this aircon, which is no bad thing. So how you guys been anyway? I have been fantastic. Yes, I have. Now, so I'm going to do the bottom. I probably actually want to go stick it that way, really, don't I? So, there's a little bit we need to do here in prepping this up, obviously. Not much. That's the bottom line. Well, it shouldn't be much. You'd hope. And so we'll go, which might be a better option to go that way. Put it on here, and then boom. Nice. Nice and easy. There we go. One. I wonder if I can get all these three on one plinth. My guess, no. No. Splatch into there. Well, maybe. Okay, no. There's another one. Another one bites the dust. Now, the paint I'm after is grun. And I'm sure I saw it earlier in the week when I was looking for another color, but it does not seem to be out and about right now. So that means, well, there's a couple of places it can be. Well, a couple of boxes basically, and we'll quickly get them out and get on to the business, because now all I've got to do is mount that and we're good to go. Hang on a moment. Come here, you. And actually what I might do, yeah, will do in fact, I'm going to try in this process to do, you'll see how I'm pushing this through here. The idea is, as you see, I actually did do the line around there, but in fact, probably a better way be for me to zoom in and show you what I'm on about. And then you'll see why I'm pushing the oh, nice. That sounds like a very pleasant little day. You can certainly have a lot worse outcomes than that. Yes, now, here we go. Every country has a different internal color, and almost invariably, they'd go around the insides there, and you can see here that I've actually done that on this one already. Now, because I largely couldn't be fucked redoing it, but of course you can see that there is also spots where I've gone a wee bit too far. By pushing that through like that, my theory is that I will keep the paint on the inside there all good, whilst enabling the rest to be done. That's my theory. Now, what I might also do, zoom out. There's one thing I need to do. Is get a little bit more paper towel going. Not for when we're brushing, of course, just because when we're cleaning, we all know the drill. Now, there we go. I can possibly even consider all right, can I, using the blue tack here, obviously, being sticky enough is the theory. Oh, looky that. Looky that. That's a bit convenient, that is. Now, our colour tomorrow will be probably dunkelgrun, I believe is the next colour that needs to go on the upper area. And that'll require a bit of masking. But that's okay. That's okay. Now, I'll move all this around to one side so I can sort of do in fact, if I clear a bit of a space here, oh, who would have thought, Rob? You, boy wonder, can actually have a spot to go across rather than and back. Oh, who would have thought, big boy? I tell you, sometimes the lights are on, but no one's really home, guys. Now, here's something a bit interesting for you to check out very quickly. Okay, this is an AZ109 that I've been cannibalizing from. Oh, here we go. Cat Stevens. Ah, interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, these are the that's our current one. That's the AMG. This is the AZ, and you can see they've got a very similar approach to the way they've gone about their structure. Now, this one's got two vents on it that I would suggest our 109A doesn't have, being engine upgrades and all sorts of other bits and bobs. But you can see straight away how they put a bit of the fuselage there. It's a different approach. It's interesting. Here, they've also gone for, on the AZ, you can see there's a small imprint of the wheel well there. And they've done much the same here. So that's interesting. It's different to other kits. Not all of them do it that way. Just thought I'd share that with you. Anyway, now we are good to go as soon as I find. Wow, that now it's 10 degrees. What I might do is turn the heat down a bit. It's getting pretty damn toasty. Now, all right. Let's see how we go. Grun is what we are looking for. No, I think it's in that one. Oh, it's in this one. I should have gotten it out first. Sorry, guys. Now let's have a look. It should be a relatively fresh one. And have a colour on the top, I reckon. I remember that now. This is convenient to recall. Right. Not seeing a colour on top. It ain't in here. Boom. Yeah, I did definitely do that. I'm just going to show you a couple of colours here, though. Just in case I'm wrong. No, I'm good. I reckon I'm correct on that assertion. Yep. Okay. I'm sure I had it sorted out here, though. This is why I'm a bit. That's a chromate. Hello. Grun. And as I said, boom. Colour on top. Where do I keep all my finished models? You know what? Would you like to see? Indeed. Even with that, you've brought this on. Okay, now this won't take us. A brief diversion from what we're doing, gentlemen and ladies and others. Now, excuse me a brief moment. I'm back. Now, the camera's going to go a bit wonky because I've got to go for a bit of a stroll. And there's two areas I keep my stuff. Give me a moment. Now, first, I've got this little cupboard here. Let me just do a bit of a zoom in for you. That's my Dam Busters Lank. C47. That's my Militaria collection. Various medals and stuff from, there's Maltese, there's British, there's German, there's Austro-Hungarian, French. What else have I got there? Japanese. Yada. Anyway, that's S for sugar. That's an RAAF Lank. Flew 137 missions. Memphis Belle. Now at the bottom you'll see there's a few other kits there that, well, they'll come in later in the year. While I'm here, we've got, that's actually some die casts I've got. That car there is a Chrysler Charger that was very popular over here and indeed used by the cops for a while. My dad used to have one. I actually wanted to build one, but I couldn't get the kit anywhere. But yeah, that actually is an 50th anniversary one. It comes with the certificate of authenticity. And I've got that one on display and I've got another one pristine. Be aware, guys, any comments you make I cannot actually see because I'm away from my computer at the moment. Now we're coming down here. Give me a moment. It's going to get very dark. Very dark. This is my almost set up library. I'll zoom out a bit. There's a bit of work still to be done. While I'm here, also coin collection and lots of other stuff. One here, sort of way. There we go. Anyway, but here is where I've put them thus far. So if I zoom in a bit, everybody's got to have a Red Baron. Goes without saying. Now that one there, you're going to get a bit of reflection on this, guys, because of actually what I could do. Give me a moment. Camera's going to go a bit shitful. Get that chair back. why don't I? They will stop the reflection, Rob. Here we go. Get a bit of focus. Beethoven. Helmut Fick. Galland. Marseille. And as if I can't happen. 109s across there. That is the now that is the Lavochkin of Ivankov Kozadub, Tomahawk, no, Warhawk of Len Waters, the only Aboriginal fighter pilot of World War II. P-47 of Gabby Gabreshki, P-51D of Spurgeon Ellington, another one of the, and that is the Stuka of, you can't really see it that well because of the, of Rudel. And then we come to Spitfire Mark 1. Oh no, that's the Hurricane, sorry, Mark 1 of Nicholson, who won the VC for shooting down a 110 while his plane was still on fire. Typhoon of Stapleton. Tempest, Roland B. Beaumont. Spitfire Mark 1 of John Dundas, he shot down Vic before being taken out by the wingman. That's the Mark 9C of Buzz Lehrman, Canada's top ace. Finally, we've got the Junkers 88 of Werner Bombach. This was the Hampton. It had a few issues in transport of that a guy that won a VC in for putting out fires as the plane could get back to base. Scored severe wounds that he ended up dying from in 1947. His name escaped. Hannah was his surname. And that's the Black Widow, Lady of the Night, Lady of the Dark. But ultimately, I want to redo that one because I did that quite early on. It stopped dragging its tail in a way it shouldn't. It was actually on an open display, which is why it's dusty and yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's where they are. And that's what they are. All right. Now, if you've been making comments, I will not have been able to see them, as I mentioned earlier. So, yeah. Oh, hey, Sprue, how you doing? Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I have plans for where I'm going to put all the kits that I'm currently building. As far as I've got quite a bit of shelving I can utilize in that display cabinet I can set up. So, yeah. All right. Now, getting back to business. First thing, let's give this a good mixture. Oh, look at that. Oh, dearie me. Shake, 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 ba-ba-da-ba. Shake, 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 ba-ba-da. Shake my painter. Now, oh, it's mixing quite nicely. Oh, no, it's not. Nah, spoke too soon on that front. Now, this, again, shouldn't be a big piece of airbrushing involved. We mixed yet? Not quite. Oh, yeah, which ones? If they're the, I find with the FX, if they're the recent pressings, they're nice. Some of the older ones, ooh, a bit rumpty. I'm glad they chose to sort of like step up rather than shut down, if you know what I'm saying. Because they do produce a lot of good stuff. And also, they were actually, when I was a lad, they were, I have a very sentimental line of thought towards them, if you know what I'm saying. When I was a kid, they were the only thing there was. So if they went the way of the dinosaur, it'd be a bit, not upsetting, but, you know, it's a pity sort of a thing. It's something that does happen, I know, but I'm just trying to see if I can spot where I put that other earlier on. I'll find it. Or at least I'll find, or at worst, I'll find a replacement for it. All will be well. Are we there yet? Nah. Almost, though. That white bit's the bit we got to get rid of. Now, there we go. All right, let's do this, shall we? Now, I'm just going to move the camera forward because otherwise I was going to headbutt it, which is suboptimal. Now, oh, bloody hose is caught under the. There we go. You get out of there. You get over here. Get over here. Oh, nice. Nice. I should, I think I've shown you the Merc. I've got the 30, I don't know what year it is, but that I plan to work on at some stage. I've got so many kits I plan to work on at some stage. All right, this is going to cooperate jolly good. Let's do this, kids. Let's get a glove on. Cutty sock. Ooh. Oh, nice. Now, mouthful of coffee. All right. And then we get down to the nitty gritties. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Oops, a daisy. Might just get a bit clumsy there. Never mind. Oh dear. That idea was nothing to do with the paint. I just heard another beeping of the horns. It's just like, guys, it's not that hard to merge in traffic. Get your shit together. You know, the ones I actually get more concerned about when I hear the trucks do, they're leaning on the horn thing, and you think, dudes, you're playing games with something that weighs many, many tons. You don't come off better from that sort of a collision. You don't lose and you die. You know, Jesus. There'll be, I think you'll find, now give me a moment while I just, you're probably, your bigger challenge will be the rigging. Oops, excuse me a moment, guys. Sorry, I should have warned you about the flash too. Jesus. 1, 2. Yep. It's an unusually dark colour for an undercarriage, in my opinion, but hey. Maybe a bit more of that angle, just to get the edge. Now, this one. There we go. Boom. Now, how much paint have we got left in here? We'll put a bit more. Yes, we shall. Give me. Where did I put the bloody paint? Rob. There we go. And I didn't get more paper towel. I'll worry about that once I've finished the brushing. Now, I'm not going to need a lot, I don't reckon. Or paint, that is, which is why I'll probably give myself more than I need. Nice one, big boy. Now, I'll start with this one. Oops. Done. And finally, this. Boom. Just in case. Right. Go along that line there a bit more down the seam. Now, I might as well as use up the remaining paint. Because often I find you do your brushing and then there's some little spot that you haven't nailed. When that happens, it shits me out. In fact, there we go, right there, I reckon. Now, next, let's have a look at this. Well, that's actually come up really nicely. Very pleased with how that looks. Maybe a bit on the edges here. Won't hurt to do the front. . Anything else on these? Solid. Yeah, again, more just on sort of like this edge area is probably where we want to focus. There we go. Now we are getting places. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And we've got a little bit of paint left. Might as well use it up. Is that dry enough for me to consider that? Doesn't really need, it's more to the point. So there does come that point at which you can start going, well, why? Done. I can, of course, quite validly just do this little maneuver. Get rid of the paint. And we'll quickly run some thinner through that. And then I'll turn the booth off so we can stop that strobe effect. And pretty obviously we are not going to be masking up for the next coats today because, well, hey, the paint's not going to be sufficiently dry for that sort of behavior. But we've got a good start. Only 2 colors on this to go. The masking with Luftwaffe aircraft is generally very geometrical, and this is no different. If it's not geometric, it's some kind of freaky little weird design with squid. I've seen some stuff that some aircraft have on them that's just mind-blowing. In terms of, like, you got a dunkelgrün or schwarzgrün, dark translation, dark green or black green, various dark green colors. And then they'll get this white, and there's this squiggly line that is just there to mindfuck you. I'll tell you that free of charge, because pulling that shit off would do your head in. Does it mean I would never do such a kit? Of course not. We all know that I would, because just because, if I wanted to. Or if it necessitated, it was necessary for a certain pilot, I would. I tend to buy or build according to pilots. The 109A is a bit of an exception to that by virtue of the fact that, excuse me, I couldn't find one that was specific to a pilot. Now, what I should do is get some of that paper towel. I should get a mouthful of coffee. Yes, I should. Oh, hey, Jeff, how you doing, man? Something I was going to share with you. I think you recently lost a subscriber, maybe 2. Look, I lost one recently, and now I'm up 4, and that's over the course of a matter of days. In short, you will lose subscribers occasionally. This may be for reasons that have nothing to do with you. They might have cancelled their YouTube account. They might have died. Who knows? But at the end of the day, when that shit happens, yeah, just roll with it, man. It's all good. Now, I won't need too many pieces of paper. I shall grab the whole roll. What the fuck? Well, so I can always grab more at the shops when the time comes. Alrighty, now, first up, excuse me a moment. Alrighty, let's clean. First I'm going to get these out of the way because they're in the way of my elbows. Now, so now do our usual little routine. Bam, bam. Alrighty, next. Yes, hang on a moment. Now, once we've got this done, I'll give you a zoom in on what we've done. We'll probably might be able to unwrap. Maybe, oh yeah, maybe. And then I'll give you a zoom in on the assembly sheet so as you can see what we're going to need to do. To mask up appropriately. Actually, it's not going to be that hard for our, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be two colors that will be Schwarzgrun and Dunkelgrun. Dunkelgrun is the lighter of the two. So all we'll do is cover the whole aircraft. Well, not the whole aircraft, but that whole upper area with Dunkelgrun, and then go Schwarzgrun on top. That is what we will do. But first we will clean our airbrush. Yes, we will. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, those are the two colors that will be involved. And let's see, now today is Thursday here. So I'll be on tomorrow, but not Saturday. Well, I'm expecting not to be on Saturday. Although you never know. There might be things that happen, but what I will definitely be on is on Sunday. But I'll be on tomorrow, not the day. So we'll finish the airbrushing on this on Sunday. Which will give us options as a fresh start on Monday, if you follow me. From the viewpoint of, we'll be able to either A, airbrush the stripes on the Mustang, or B, do tidy ups on the Mustang, as in the car, or C, start assembly. Either's good, or any of that's good. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening next week and the days coming up. Now, somewhere along the way, I reckon when I finished one of our depending on how the process is operating, I wouldn't mind getting a bit, do maybe a week or on the Warspite, the ship we have in our back catalogue, as it were. Just maybe setting up the hull out of its own. I'll have a look at the assembly sheets and see what the actually what I'll do first is I haven't ordered all that stuff I need. Rob. Doesn't matter. Anyway. So I'll get onto that first. So I want to get the wooden hull, wooden decking. You can get some very cool guns. The full bore photo etch that you can get costs a couple of $100 though. And I'm not entirely convinced I want to spend that much. But I'll see what else I can get, because there is some fun and very cool stuff to be added. And one of them is definitely the wooden decking. I've seen some very cool turrets that I'm pretty keen to use, and yeah, we'll see. Hang on now. Where is that flat part? There. Come on. Off you come. No. Still a bit too tight to even want to come off there. Have I got you now? Yes, I do. Very good. All right. Now, let's see if I can drain some paint out of here. No, good. Sometimes you will find, in my experience at least, that these little nozzles here can actually contain quite a lot of paint. And something you can do is actually just drag them across there with the needle on the paper towel, and you can actually drain paint out of them, which can be useful, as I'm sure you can understand. There we go. Right. To there. Through there. Now, once I've cleaned the needle, there's a bit of muck on the outside. Now, there's a this is I don't know if you guys have seen. Okay, first, I don't know how many of you guys have ever watched Game of Thrones, or indeed it. But you know, I'm sure a number of us would know who Jason Momoa is. There's footage of him doing the rounds of him at the final Aussie show, hitting the mosh pit with Pantera playing, I think it is. And all I can think is that I was unaware that there was a word in Dothraki for headbang. Yeah. But yes, are you a all-conquering rider warrior who goes on horseback? When you're looking for a bit of time off, why don't you go to the Aussie concert, mosh like the rest of us? Apparently, yes, he does. Now, I reckon, this is just intuition, that this one will actually clean out really nicely. We seem to be having, as I did mention yesterday, some colours seem to clean out more easily than others. This one is seeming very cooperative. I think what it is, is that in some instances, the color requires a certain consistency in the paint that makes it either easier to remove or not so easy to remove, depending on the case. Now we'll go with one of these, but this one's looking pretty cooperative. Can't be unhappy about that fact, I say. Now, and in we go. Oh, and in straight into the mechanism. Got to be happy with that. Out we come. Yeah, there is a little bit there. I mean, that's not so surprising, but there we are. I reckon that's probably going to come up quite well. This is looking promising, kids. Not nearly as hard to remove. Yesterday, the red was most persistent, which is rather romantic of it, to say the least. Now, let's see how we go in here. If we're lucky, almost. Oh, very close now. One more. And then I think what we'll do is our usual little finishing trick. Oh, hey, John, how you doing? Yeah, well, the reality of a Luftwaffe pilot, to my understanding, was if you're alive, you flew. And that's why, ultimately, you see, the Luftwaffe pilots didn't get options on things like rest or, basically Allied pilots, because of their sheer number, were able to take time off, rest and recuperation. Very important stuff, I'm sure you'd agree. Indeed, I believe the US pilots, after a certain number of flown missions, could, I don't think it was enforced, but could call that done and dusted and see you later. Whereas the Luftwaffe ones, if they could fly, that's what they were told to do. It wasn't a question of options. There just wasn't the numbers. And as such, yeah, that's pretty much what the case would be. Hi, Carlos, how are you doing? Now, the end result of that, or one of the things about that, is that's the reason why when you check out the, if you go on to just search highest scoring aces in World War II, you're going to go through about a whole page, possibly more, of Luftwaffe pilots before you even get to the first, whatever the next one down is. And it's purely because they could not get any rest or time off. And of course, the longer you're up, the greater your chance of securing aerial victories. But also, they became pretty battle hardened, and they knew what they were doing. They were much more conditioned to aerial combat, perhaps, than their Allied counterparts in many ways. So there we go. Alrighty, now that's that done. Yeehaw! I'm quietly confident there's nothing in the middle for me to get too stressy about. Let's just get this back together. Then we might do a small amount of unwrapping. Unwrapping. There we go. One. Two. Oops. Three. Hang on a moment. Always the tricky one, bit on bit to thread the needle. There we are. One of the things I actually kind of like about the Spar Max, let's see if it'll illustrate this. I'm going to take a bit of a, if I turn this up like that, it doesn't just go shoot straight through. Depress the thing and gently push it through. And the reason that I find that good is because you don't run the risk of your needle going clunk into the nozzle, which I think is probably not an ideal outcome. That's just an opinion. There we go. What the Bf 109 to the Spanish, now give me a moment, the title, the name will come to me. There is here we go. If you look at I'm trying to remember what the correct name for the ones they built in Spain are. I do know the ones you mean. The inherent difference is more to do with the front end. The front end on the ones built in Spain is more akin to the, wait, it's coming to me. No, escape for a moment. Are more akin to the front end of your 109A than they are to the, say, your 109Es, your 109FG, whatever. Alrighty. Next. Just do this, and then, like I said, we can start having a bit of a look. So that's all going to have come up quite nicely. There's no real. Hang on. Let me just check something for a moment. Oh no, that's the upper wings there. Found them. Nah. Now. Just run some of this through. I'm going to quickly flick the camera away so as you don't get that blinding flash when I do that. Just get try turning your compressor on, Rob. And as always, we're going to finish with just a little splash of water to clean the seals. And then we can start having a look at what we're going to get onto tomorrow. Yes, we will. While I'm doing this, I'm desperately trying to remember what the correct term for the 109s that were, built under license in Spain were called. Thingy starts with a G, maybe an H. Ends with an O. It'll come to me. I'm not sure if they had the same power plant either. All right. Hurry along. You see what's water in there? Apparently. There we go. Right. Turn off compressor. Now, pop that away. Now, camera comes back around. Oh, I've just remembered Hispanos. That's what I'm thinking of. Hispanos. That's what they were called. Yes. There we have them. Thank you very much, Brian. And yes, John, I'm pretty sure you will find that most fighter pilots were not big units. No. What you can consider is, if you're looking at getting hang on, I can turn this off too. If you're looking at getting it's a bit like racing car drivers. Most racing car drivers are not 6'6" and built like trucks. They would weigh the vehicle down. And I actually saw a picture of, I think it was Hartman getting into his aircraft, and I'm looking at the space of the 109 cockpit. And I'll tell you, free of charge, and bearing in mind that I'm I'm a bit of a chubber, but I'm still a big unit. And the width was about that of my hips. Yeah, they were generally pretty small guys, I believe, because small space and also, yeah. Bucons. There we go. Glad you chaps are onto it. Alrighty, let's have a bit of a look. Bucons. Bucons made by Hispano. Of course, Spanish aviation producing the Bucons. Makes sense now. Now, most of this we don't need to get too excited about. I've gone higher than I need to go so that I can just do an overlap. It'll be easier, is the theory. Once I get these off. Now, a way of doing it is to take the cockpit. Now just peel that back from there. And put the cockpit back later. So I've gone a little bit higher there than I needed to. There's still a bit of tape on here to be removed. That might not be tape. That doesn't matter really so much. There'll be colour going on top of that. But yeah. So now, I'm kind of curious to see. Here's the Czech version. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, they got around to the 109s. They were quality aircraft. So yeah, here's our lower fuselage colour, grun. Now in actuality, like I said, I'm going to go a bit lower. I've gone too high quite intentionally because that way I don't need to worry about am I going to get the line exact with the next colour up. I'm just going to go bang over the top. One thing I would like to check, maybe, give me a moment. Come here. Yay. I'll show you what I'm yaying in a minute, I think. Yeah, that's all come to, or largely come to the party. Let me just get a toothpick onto something. And then we'll give you a zoom, and then we're going to have a look, see what we're doing tomorrow. Well, I'll show you what we're going to do tomorrow. It's going to be one colour, pretty much. Now, yeah, got a bit overzealous with my blue tack there, apparently. But what we've succeeded in doing, give me a piece of paper towel, clean piece of paper towel, that is. In this instance, at least, is like I said, I got a bit overzealous with my blue tack on a couple of spots, but what we've done there, you can see, hopefully, that I've managed to get the German grey lining of the wheel wells while still getting our grun undercoat or undercarriage. Obviously, there's going to be a couple of little touches there, but you know. All right, now there is one other thing I need to. Yeah, this has actually been most educational for me, this stream. If it's educational for me, it may be educational for others, which is no bad thing at any given time, I find. Now I'm going to remove all of this, I think. Or do I want to at all? Yeah, I do. I'm going to need to redo it, but that's okay. That's okay. There we go. All right. So, what we're going to do, that's looking quite nice already. Yeah. So we've got, that's where we're at this stage. Now, got the engine that's going to require a couple of little touch-ups, but mostly she's come up very nicely. Now, so yeah. And while I'm here, for those who haven't seen it before, one part of the cockpit, I'll need to get a piece of paper towel again. Give me a moment. My camera doesn't focus well in certain circumstances. There's that. Can I get the light right? Doesn't look like I can get a good scope in. No. Not really good. Oh, that's a better view. Hang on. Can't quite see that. You'll get a decent view of the dash, I think. See if I can get some light onto that for you. No, it's just been cunty to us. You can see a bit there, though. See if we get a decent shot of that. No. Cunties. At least, where are we? Give me a moment. Where the hell? That's my... Aha. At least our engine, however, I can show. And the masking took some of the colour off there, but mostly this will be a very easy tidy up. Engine's got a bit of the stuff going on it, so yeah. All right. I think you are actually correct in that, John. I do recall seeing something to that effect in an article. And it's a curious thing that is the case, but yes, I believe you are correct. Interestingly, I know that at a certain point in history, note use of that certain point, Churchill himself had no problems with a lot of what Hitler was doing. It was only when it started to converge on British interests that he started taking issue. Now, here we go. Now, I'll give you a bit of a zoom in. This is pretty much a universal imperative that we're about to see here. They are all pretty much the same paint job, so let's not be shy now. Look at that. And as you can see, very geometric. Now, as such, is there any other photographs? There would need, well, not photographs, pickies. Yes, there are. There would be, and this is another classic piece of geometric layout. Boom. So, our first port of call, however, is to the lighter of those two colors being RLM 71, which I can almost guarantee you. In fact, we can get those two paints out right now. As I said, we're not going to do any masking right now. But I can reckon 71 and 72 give me about time to try out some Pulp Fiction line. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Now, give me a moment. I think they're at the back. Are there my German colours? No. In which case, they would most likely... Yep, other one. Now, I think I should just quickly check that... Well, that's German field grey, of course. Dunkelgrün. And my next one. Hello. Oh, that's more Dunkelgrün. But it does confirm that's RLM 71. Give me a moment. I'll find Schwarzgrün, I'm sure. German grey. Schwarzgrün. RLM 70. So, oops, the days. There we go. Let's fix that up, shall we, Rob? Now, all right. Now, the two colours we will be applying. Oh, running a bit low on that one. I'll be able to get some on Saturday. These two, which, how much we got in here? Jesus. Either way, these two colours, Dunkelgrün and Schwarzgrün. As you can see, Dunkelgrün is the lighter of the two. This is, trust me, that does come up as green once you've shaken it enough. So that being the lighter of the two colours, that's the one that we're applying first up. And when we do that, what we'll do is, we're not going to bother obviously masking up, we'll do that line there, that line. I suppose we could. Easy option, and the way they used to do it, just mask off the area we want to keep grun. And then we're just going to hit the entire upper area with Dunkelgrün. Then when the time comes, we're going to go Schwarzgrün. Boom. That's the stuff we'll mask off. So it'll be that easy. All righty. Oh, hey, Stephen. How you doing? I'm sorry to say you've arrived a wee bit late. I'm about to wind things up. However, I'll give you a quick gander at what we did was just apply our grun coating to our 109A. Did there. Our undercarriage. Wings, or lower wings, tail fins, vents, and ailerons. So yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. I can answer some of those questions for you, John, before we leave. Give me a moment, what I might do. Okay. Yes, BF is Bayerische Flugzeugwerke. Bayerisch is Bavarian. Flugzeug, flying things, in general terms, are flying an aircraft. Werke, I'm thinking you can work that one out for yourself. Okay, how that differs from ME is Willy Messerschmitt used to work for Bayerische Flugzeugwerke, and what happened is that because he was an engineer, he wasn't getting all the royalties. And he was in a position where he wanted to, basically he was going to say, well, look, I'm going to take my own company. If I don't get all the royalties I'm after, I believe he was a bit of a fave of young Adolf Hitler. And that's why you'll find later in the war, a lot of aircraft get their designation, like that's why, for example, your BF becomes ME, your Heinkel's often get TA for Kurt Tunk, who was one of their major designers, and so it goes. Ultimately, it's more in the nomenclature and who has the rights. Ultimately, it's the same company. Was the Focke-Wulf 190 a replacement? It was something that was never fully replaced the 109. The 109 continued throughout, was in continual service from the start of the war till the end of World War II, and indeed further in various forms in terms of serving Israel. Oh, the irony. In the Czech design and yada, yada, yada. the Focke-Wulf was another aircraft, and in many ways it was better than the, if you consider that the Spitfire Mark V was widely regarded as able to deal with pretty much most of the 109's chicanery. The Focke-Wulf 190 required an upgrade, and that's where you get your Spitfire 9C coming into play. So, yeah. And a lot of 109 pilots went to the 190. But that's more on the Western Front than on the Eastern Front. More, but I wouldn't make any absolute statements on that either. I'm sure you get the drill. Now that I've given you the sermon on the mount on that subject, and I bear in mind if I've made any historical inaccuracies, my apologies, I will wind up the stream. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. I do genuinely appreciate it. Yeah. First-time viewers, you know the drill. Follow, like, or subscribe. Other platforms. I'm Rob the Builder on Facebook and YouTube. My pleasure, Bassman. Yeah, have a good day, man. That's also, John, that's to my understanding. Bear in mind, I'm always prepared to accept I could be wrong on certain factors, but that's to my understanding. Anyway, the what was I going to say? Something. I got distracted by somebody doing something with one of the bins out the front. Anyway, point being, I was talking about other platforms, wasn't I? I'm Rob the Builder, Facebook, YouTube, Robster the Builder, Instagram, and Twitch, and that pretty much covers it. But all to say, I will be back tomorrow. Same sort of a time, and as I said, what we're going to do is we are going to set up for our Dunkelgrun coat, and that actually shouldn't take us too long. Then Sunday we will do the Schwarzgrun, and then we might do, like I said, on the Monday I'll get the option on whether I'm going to do the stripes on the Boss Mustang or whether I'm just going to go for the decal approach. And then we've done our airbrushing. Wow. Lots of it we've done, but we've done well. And then we can get on to assembly. All righty. My pleasure, David. All right, guys, that's me done, as I said. Thanks again for watching. And we all know the drill. I'm going to be back tomorrow at a similar kit time and on the same kit channel. And hopefully I'll catch you good people then. See yous.